Hello, everybody, and welcome. Blah, blah, blah. My name is D.Lisa West, and I'm a dream doula.
I like it. I am Christina Spataro. I'm a psychotherapist and relationship coach.
And I started this meeting about 10 minutes late today, and now we're going to talk about procrastination.
Procrastination.
For many, many, many years, I didn't even know that I was procrastinating things. I just thought I was in a hurry, in a rush, late to do things. And finally, one day someone said to me, a lot of people procrastinate because they love the energy of the adrenaline that happens when they're fearfully trying to hurry up and finish something. And I thought, oh no, I don't like that. And then I thought, wait, do I? Is there some part of me, like the part of me that likes to get up and drink coffee right away in the morning? Is there another part of me that wants to just feel really excited and alive and scared because I procrastinated an important task? Or am I ready to let that go? What the what?
Okay. There's so many different, to show you how big this problem is. There's so many different programs, books, courses in procrastination. I keep putting off reading some of them. Sorry.
You're funny, Christina.
If you can't joke about procrastination. But one of the things I had read, which I found sort of an intriguing thought, is that this protective human mind of ours, if it perceives something as taking a lot of work, it will actually discourage us from doing it because its job is to conserve energy. Remember, body, mind, always about us living. So it doesn't care that we think this is important. Its goal is always to keep us alive. So if it perceives something as that's going to extend a lot of energy, we maybe get this sudden sense of inertia because no, let's conserve that energy. We're not going to waste all this energy. So the idea is, how much do you so if we're perceiving this as this is going to take forever, oh, this is going to be so long, it will be just more not wanting to do it. People think, oh, well, that's obvious. If I don't want to do something, of course I'm not going to do it. No, but it's also, how are you perceiving? Are you perceiving that this is going to be quick, it'll be done quick, or are you perceiving that this is going to take so long and I don't want to waste that much energy on it, kind of thing. So again, how our mind sees something is so important. Or if we're really excited about it, if we feel the reward is so amazing, we're going to be more motivated to do it. Now they might say, well, wait a minute, if you get this job done, then your boss will be happy. Well, yeah, that may not be that motivating.
Because let's see, I've got a client right now, and one who's procrastinating with doing taxes. One that's procrastinating with cleaning out her basement. One that's procrastinating with sending her book off to the book agent who asked to read it. That person is just editing it a little bit more, so it'll be good for the editor to read it.
Right.
So what could those women possibly do to change their thoughts about the thing that they're dreading and not doing?
Well, I totally understand the tax thing. I am notorious for that. Like, remember during COVID, we had that extension. Now, if I was really smart, I would have still done mine like originally for April, but no, I did it down to the wire. So I can relate to that. On that one, I think it's a combination of, yeah, it is going to be painful and annoying. And may get money taken away from us. So yeah, I see where that would be something you're not, yeah, let me just go do those taxes. So how can you motivate yourself for that? Maybe give yourself a reward after it's done. Like, I get these taxes done, I get to do this thing that actually will be enjoyable. If you're entitled to a refund, maybe be like, if as soon as I get these taxes done, I actually get to get money back from the government. So maybe see that reward coming. possibly for the lady cleaning out her basement, instead of saying, oh, I gotta clean out my basement, think of it as a treasure hunt. When was the
I like
last
that. Yeah.
time you went into your basement? Remember when you were like a kid and like your mom, I don't know, was telling you to get something from the basement, and then you discover an old toy you hadn't played with in years, and you were like, oh my gosh, I remember this game. Or I
Yeah.
remember that Snoopy. And it's like you suddenly, it was a new again. So think of your basement as maybe there's some treasure down there. Maybe there's some things you forgot about that might be interesting, that you might enjoy rediscovering. So instead of looking at it as I got to clean this basement, I need to explore and see what has been buried down here all these years. Like I was cleaning out my closet the other day, and I'm like, oh, what was in this bag? Like it was behind everything, didn't have a clue. And then I opened like, oh, that's when I went to that conference. Oh, and these were the little souvenir things I got. Oh, that's right. So you may find something that at the time you thought was interesting and you saved it, and now you've totally forgotten about it. So think of buried treasure down there.
Yes, and if I think about my friends who are feng shui
Mhm.
consultants, and one of them told me that the basement represents your past, and the attic
Ooh.
represents your future,
Ooh.
and closets represent secrets. So if you
Ooh.
want to take a trip, just like you said, well, maybe you'd find an old childhood toy. Want to take a trip into your past and clean some stuff up of your past, go clean
Yes.
out your basement. Or yes, you want your future to be bringing you lots of beautiful things. Let's
Yes.
not have clutter in the attic.
Yes. I like it. I like that. Now, what if you don't have an attic? Does that mean you don't have a future?
Good question. Ooh, I'm sure that's a question for a more
That's
educated
feng
feng shui
shui person.
person. I
Okay.
also know that if you drive a car
Mhm.
and your trunk is full of crap, not good.
Really? What does
Uh,
that say?
Your trunk should be clean of everything that you're not just transporting somewhere. It shouldn't just have a bunch of junk in it, because that is how good comes to you.
Oh, interesting.
Also, if you open your door all the way wide and there's no barrier to opening it all the way it can open, that's good. If people keep things tucked behind a door, then their good can't fully come into their life.
Oh, interesting.
So procrastination, back to procrastination out of feng shui, but yeah, the feng shui.
You procrastination right in feng shui.
I am
That was
procrastinating
impressive.
on the Yeah. So when I was a real estate broker, I remember most of what I did was prospecting for new sellers and buyers. Who do I know? Who can I
Mm,
meet? And I would have a list of people to call, and I was like, I'll call them tomorrow. Nah, I don't want to call them at all. After a few weeks, I was like, I don't even want to call those people. Forget it. I'll
mm,
do something else. I'll send some mail. I'll do you can pretend like you're working when really the thing you need to do,
you're not doing.
procrastinating. And I heard a term that you should eat your big frogs first.
Mm,
It's the idea that you should put into the jar of your world the big rocks first, then the smaller rocks, then the sand, then the water, then your
mhm.
drums. So what's the big frog? What's
What's
up?
the big fun? You get out of the way. I used to when I was a kid, especially, you know how I used to love to save the part of the meal. I'm still a little like this too, where I'd save the part of the meal that I liked best
Mm.
for the last. So like the part I didn't like as much, I would eat that first so I could savor the part I really liked.
Oh, so you were already eating the big frog
I
first.
was already eating the big frogs even when I was 5 years old.
Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Oh, yeah. So as adults, we do have some tasks that we'd rather not do. Maybe it's washing the car, cleaning out the
Mhm,
garage, or doing your taxes, or
mhm,
calling that list of possible clients. But
mhm.
I suppose we can give ourselves a treat. Actually heard
Yes.
somebody upset about that whole concept. Like, I'm not a little kid. I don't need a treat.
Oh, you need a treat. You could totally give yourself a treat. Absolutely.
What
You
would you?
know, I think sometimes adults need treats even more than kids do
Mm.
because we're required to do so many things that we really don't want to do. And I know kids will balk like, oh, but kids have school, they have homework. Yes, they do have things that that's required and they want to do, but when you have adult responsibilities, it seems like your list of things you don't really want to do seems to grow. So the more you can give yourself a treat or to see the reward at the end of it, like if I do this, what is the reward going to be? And it's got to be something that's really enticing, or maybe visualize what that reward's going to be. Perhaps your author client is worried, when the book, as a writer, I can respect this. When the book is still an idea, its possibilities are endless. But once you're actually putting the ideas to paper, you've let go of some other things and put some new ones there. And then you're wondering, is this going to be good enough? Are people going to like it? What is this going to turn into what I hoped it would be? So maybe how you do it, envision the positive end of how this is going to go
Oh,
and
that's
see
beautiful.
that.
Yes, that's beautiful. So the positive end, and this also just, I love how my brain works. Thank you. Got a great idea from a long time ago. Someone once said an analogy to having a lot of unfinished things in your life is like wearing a sweater with all these threads that are just snagged out of it. And
I like that.
you can visualize that all these threads are just hanging down on the sweater, but each time you finish a task, you can snip that. Now,
Ah.
there's this knitting part of my brain that goes, no, don't snip it. Leave it back in. But the idea is, yeah, let's say that it's fabric that you can snip and there's just loose threads everywhere. So you clean up the basement, click, click, click. You finish your taxes, click, click,
Click,
click.
click, click.
And suddenly you just feel so much more free. The energy you have isn't stuck and you're not spending time worrying about procrastinating, about doing the task, about not doing the task. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. And you've got this gorgeous gown of accomplishment that you get to wear with pride.
Now, don't you have a movie for us? Some
Oh
movie
my
procrastinated something and then they just did it and then their life was beautifully unfolded.
Okay, gonna put pressure on me now. Let's see. Well, so many movies are about the hero's journey and
True.
about the hero fighting it and actually saying, no, I don't want to do that. But that some inciting thing forces them to make that choice. And now they're on the journey and now they're doing the thing that they're afraid of. Okay, the idea of fear. Okay, I'm going to work with this and I may come up with others. But the idea of avoiding something that you're afraid of, because I always say everything comes down to fear. So
Yeah.
when you're procrastinating, what are you afraid of with this thing that you're not doing? What are you afraid of? So right now, the movie that's popping into my head, I'm thinking of French Kiss with Meg Ryan, Kevin Kline. I want to say, is it 1990s? I want to say, it's weird, like the 1990s and early 2000s just sort of blend into a monolith, but I really want to say it's 1990s. And so Meg Ryan plays this woman who's always played it very safe, always played it safe. And she says in the movie, she says every time she tried something that was a little out of her comfort zone, she'd be the one to get caught. So she tells the story of how she was with a bunch of friends as a teenager and they were encouraging her to try pot and she'd never tried it. And she was like, just didn't want to do it. And so she tried, before the bong, I think even made it to her hand, suddenly there was a raid and she gets arrested and winds up a little criminal thing. So she's played her life very safe, very safe. And so at the beginning of the movie, she's engaged to a man played by Timothy Hutton. And she's all set to have this very safe life. She gets along with his family, and she already wants this house in Canada that she's looked at, and so already saved a nest egg. Very, very safe. And she also has a fear of flying. So the movie actually starts with her trying to conquer her fear of flying. And it's like she's like in this simulated plane thing, and she can't do it. She busts out of the simulation. And spoiler, 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 her fiance goes on a business trip to Paris, and he'd wanted her to go with him, but her fear of flying wouldn't let her. Now she says it's because her green card is not complete yet because she's working from American citizenship to Canadian citizenship, but it's really the fear of flying thing. So he goes to Paris. I'm gonna spoil. He meets someone there, and suddenly he's calling to tell her he's met somebody, she's amazing or whatever. So now the Meg Ryan character has to go, her name's Kate, she has to go and decide, are you going to fight for the life you want? And she is forced to get on a plane, which she's terrified of, forced to face things she never would have faced, and in the process becomes who she was always meant to be by facing the things that she was always afraid of. And there's a speech she says towards the end, and she's like, I spent my life trying to protect myself, but there's no home safe enough. There's no relationship secure enough. There is, you're going to have these things happen. And so all these things happened to her on this trip to Paris, but in allowing these things to happen and pushing herself in ways she never had before and facing those fears. So maybe in a broader sense was procrastination because she was procrastinating living fully because she was afraid.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing another movie with us and the listeners, because not only can you get a great idea, a concept to ponder for the week, you get a fun movie to watch.
You get a fun movie. Yes.
I love it. Thanks. Okay, I'm going to procrastinate putting this up on the internet. No, I'm not. As soon as I get the recording, because up until a few weeks ago, I would just think about it later, like the day before we talked again. I'm like, oh,
Right.
that podcast, it's in a recording and I have to upload it to Spotify and YouTube and all the places. And then I realized it was a lot more satisfying as soon as I got the recording to sit down for the half an hour, 1 hour it takes to put it all in there in all the places. And then I'm done. Now, this won't be up so someone can listen to it tomorrow, but it will be in the queue so someone can listen to it in a few weeks.
Cool.
So I will vow to not procrastinate this. And I have a project that I've been procrastinating for months and months and months now. As soon as we hang up, I'm going to go work on that.
Well, you have inspired me. I've been procrastinating launching this course, How to Be a More Effective Communicator, and I'll be launching the first module this Friday.
Yay! Oh, I can't wait to hear more about it. Send me some info and I can put it in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, Christina, it's lovely to chat with you as always.
You too. You too. Thank you.